This is how I'd audit your Instagram account. I'm gonna call this video ripping you a new one. Okay, was that awkward? So the title actually came from a user by the name of Tiffany Lee Bymaster. She said to me in a message, if you want to use me as a social curator coaching case and rip me a new one, I'm willing and able. So there you have it. I'm gonna use Tiffany's account as an example of what anyone could do to get their posts seen and stick out more in the algorithm. So let's take a look at Tiffany's account on Instagram at Coach Glitter. Her bio states that she's a live launch strategy ninja, a personal brand builder, obsessed with helping entrepreneurs create engaged audience that converts. I love this bio because it follows the social curator boss bio framework. Her audience knows exactly what she does and how it benefits them, and tailors her message specifically to who? Entrepreneurs. Tiffany has built up a significant following, but she explained she wasn't sure what she'd be posting more of. What do people want to see more of? That was her question. More videos, more IGTVs, less personal photos, more personal photos. How could she even know? How could you? Let's chat about 3 quick ways to strengthen your Instagram content so that you will go from asking, what should I post? To look at how much engagement this post got. No matter what type of business you have or whatever industry you're in or what you sell, there are 3 ways to help guide your posts. Number 1, consistency. The more you post, the more opportunities you have to see what your audience reacts to. The more you post, the easier it is for the algorithm to show your post to followers who are most likely to engage. Screen recording, going to Instagram, here's her account. I'm gonna scroll, and then what I'm going to do is first select on a photo and notice, okay, so we're getting into recording. So as I'm looking at Tiffany's account, I can look at this and let you know that her first post is already 3 days old. 3 days old on social media is a little bit infrequent, but then we're gonna go before that and we're gonna see that her next post is 5 days old and the following post is a week old. So we can say in 1 week, she posted 3 times. But as you dive in a little bit more, you'll notice that the frequency is, there's a week where she posts just once. And then there is another week gap in between posts. So December 31st, and then after that, her next post is on January 8th. Tiffany's already said, hey, I'm having a hard time not knowing what to post. But just because you don't know what to post is not enough of an excuse not to post. Because if you're not posting, how can the algorithm ever even see what it should be showing to people? I believe that the more you post, it helps the algorithm show people who are most likely to engage with that content. It increases those odds. So first things first, you gotta post more, whatever your number is. But I always believe that anytime you make a decision about being consistent, it could be about losing weight, it could be about meal planning, it could be about spending more time with your children. You have to make the cognizant decision and then decide to do that every single day. How often do I think you should be posting on social media? As much as possible, however possible, when possible. But if you wanna see big differences, once a day. Number 2, use the social curator HIC formula to ensure that people stop their scroll and read their post. So what is HIC? Hook, insights, call to action. You must hook them in and then reel them. That's how you're gonna get increasing your engagement. How are you doing this? Well, you're gonna increase engagement by giving your followers more ways to respond after reading your entire post. More on that in a second. Since we're on the topic of the HIC formula, HIC, what you want to do as somebody scrolling is stop their scroll and incentivize them to read, to click on the read more. Okay, so let's just go to the first post that I see, and it's pretty impressive. She's with Larry King, makes me feel like she's a big deal. But there wasn't any hook to incentivize me to read more. I was so sad to hear of Larry King passing. I was very fortunate to work behind the scenes with him a few times, both in his studio. I don't really need to click more because I'm not incentivized. Give me an inside to working with Larry King. Tell me something that I don't know. It's just I'm sorry of his passing, but why would I click on the more button? You gotta hook me in the beginning and then share insights. Let's go to the next post. Clubhouse recap, list building and Q&A. If you were there with us in Clubhouse room, all about list building and didn't get a chance to, that could kind of sort of reel me in, but I'm just it's not enough. You gotta get the hook and then reel them in. Let's go into the third one. Are you drinking the Clubhouse Kool-Aid yet? Cheers, drink up, my friend, and keep your AirPods charged up like never before because, maybe I'm incentivized. But what happens is like if you're starting off and you're not giving people a way to come in, like look at this post. Dear God, you have a funny sense of humor. When I chose my word for 2021, expansion, I should have been more specific. I've read enough right here in the beginning to know what the rest of the post is gonna be about. Tiffany needs to be more specific, but there's not enough of a hook driving that person to click on the read more. Why do you want somebody to click on the read more? Because you wanna share your insights. Like, why did she need to be more specific? What about expansion is gonna drive her business? What about expansion in your world means anything to me? Because Instagram is more about what it does for your followers than it does for you. But in this case, I'm gonna click on the read more. Expansion, she describes expansion, and then at the end, she says, so what about you? I'd love to hear what your word, theme, or intentions are for 2021. That's amazing. That is a perfect call to action. The last part of our HIC formula, C for call to action. But if I did not click on the more, I never would have gotten to Tiffany's CTA. When people often say, Jasmine, people aren't talking back or people aren't answering questions. My idea, like my guess is that you didn't hook them in the beginning to get them to the CT. You want people talking back, you must incentivize clicking on the more to get to the CTA. Number 3, do more of what works. Every audience is different, so learn what people want to see more from you. When I look at Tiffany's account, I notice she's done like a couple of reels, but they got thousands of views. When I compare that to her IGTV videos, the views are much less. Now, this doesn't mean that she should stop doing long form videos, but I would totally do more reels to drive engagement and get her account noticed in the algorithm. The key is to continue testing new forms of content to see what your audience wants to see more of. So let's do a quick review about engagement. If I were to click on Tiffany's post, we'll see that she has 280 likes and 12 comments.
Hey guys,
she has 492 views and 3 comments. She has 129 likes and 20 comments. So we're kind of seeing trends. Now what I wanna do is look at what type of content her audience wants to see more of. So if we're looking through, I can go back and say, I can click on her reels. When I look at her reels, she's only done 2, but she's had almost 2,300 views on one reel and about 8,700 on another reel. What does that say to me? Is that her people want to see reels and she's only giving them 2 options versus if you were to click on her IGTV, when you look at her IGTV, one has 492 reels, 492 views, 833 views, 565 views. If I were Tiffany, I would be hedging my bets and testing more of what is working. I'm noticing that reels happen to do really well for her. I would double dip on doing those reels. I would double dip on creating short form videos that actually sit on my feed because I noticed that she hasn't posted videos that are less than 60 seconds. Something to test and check out. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break right about here because whenever I mention reels, people are like, I don't do reels because I don't know what to say. I don't know how to dance. I'm too awkward. I'm too old. Listen, we all have excuses. What if I told you that we can come out with 10 ideas for reels that you can contextualize for your industry? I'm gonna get to that and how you can get it in a second, but it's like a free bonus simply for showing up on an online class. Why? Because I believe people will only come up with one of 2 things: excuses, why they won't do something, or reasons for their success. I wanna give you a reason for your success. Register for my free class, How to Beat the Algorithm, where I'll teach you how to get your post seen by more of your dream customers, the best ways to get your followers talking back to you, and my secret to getting a small audience to make a big impact in your business. You can save your seat at jasminestar.com/free class or by clicking the link in my bio. I'll see you there.